Hey there, everybody. This is your mojihost, Nandi with Messy Ministries, and I have a ministerial moment for you today. Let's talk about the less you say, the longer you will live. Lately, we have seen, I would say, numerous accounts of boyfriends, husbands taking out their girlfriends and wives. And something has stood out to me that I want to get over to the young ladies out here, and some of you seasoned women as well, is when you have picked up flags, these red flags that tell you that a person is not quite who you think they are or were, and perhaps were never, okay? Because a lot of times we meet people, we meet their representatives. So we don't really know the person. And if we move too swiftly, we don't have that time in with them to really know what they may or may not be capable of. So if you've already made the mistake of moving too fast, and you know that things are just not going right, it's something that's unsettling to you, your intuition is telling you that something just ain't right. Let me give you a little word of advice, okay? What I want you to do is say less. That means you don't tell this person about your plans. You don't tell them that you planning to leave them. You don't tell them that you gonna tell their wife or their girlfriend. You keep all that shit to yourself and you get ghost. Okay? That's the safest way to leave somebody when you don't know exactly what they might be capable of. See, some of y'all think, well, he might beat on me, but we have sex afterwards. Many women ain't here no more. And the person who took them out was the one they just had sex with. So just because a man have sex with you doesn't mean he reveres you. Doesn't mean that he respects you. Doesn't mean that he won't harm you in tragic ways. Okay? So get this in your head that sometimes you can be sleeping with your enemy. And now I know I'm talking to women here, but let me make this clear. This happens to men as well. There are some women out there that just off the hook. They on another level. And they don't have that same restraint, that you might have. And it's a little bit harder for men because people are not as apt to believe them when they say that they're being abused. And ego will cause a lot of men to just not say anything. Okay? So women are more likely to say something. One more word of advice. If you get a restraining order, get ghost. Once you have a restraining order, do not become complacent, believing that you are safe. Many women have believed that, and they're not with us today. A restraining order is not bulletproof. It will not stand at your door and guard you while you sleep. Okay? It is what it is. It is a court document. And the only weight it carries is what the person on the other end is willing to give it. So if that person don't have no respect for that piece of paper, they might still come at you. And you have to be expecting that. So sometimes you might have to give up some things. You may have to leave the state. You may have to leave your job. And stay away from your relative's house because you don't want to bring that shit to their door. Because my person might decide to go in there and take everybody out. That has happened too. And I'm not saying all this to make y'all scared and shivery and stuff. This is reality, okay? And I think that it needs to be said more often than not because we have too many women succumbing to domestic violence at the hands of people like this because they believe that either the law is going to be in their corner or this person just would not go that far. There are women who go as far as he'll call on the phone saying, let's talk this out, let's talk it over, and she'll go to his place and he'll kill her there. So don't do that either. If you have been on the outs with somebody and they've shown violent tendencies toward you, why would you go to their house alone? Why would you go to their house at all? Not alone. Why would you go at all? Stay away. I know it's hard. I know there's something that still pulls you there. That's what happens when you've been abused. Because a lot of times when you're abused, there is something in you that is not being fed. And you're going out there hoping for someone else to feed it. And this person is not the one. Matter of fact, you're the only one that you're going to find out in the end. As long as you live, as long as you keep yourself safe so that this can happen. If you work on yourself, if you learn how to feed yourself, then you don't need anybody else to feed you, okay? But you got to keep yourself safe. So again, the less you say, the longer you live. So you don't give up your plans. You don't run off at the mouth talking about you fixing to leave and you ain't never coming back, or you kicking his ass out, or whatever it is that ticks him off. Ain't no, I'm going to tell your wife. None of that. You just take your losses. Move on. Let it be a lesson for you. That's the value in it. The lesson that you got from it. And be watchful next time and stop rushing into these relationships with people who you don't know, talking about these whirlwind romances and romanticizing. That shit is TV and movies, okay? That don't always, the majority of the time, that don't work out in real life. Some people, it has happened where they have met and a whirlwind courtship and knocked them off their feet and they still married 20 years later. That's not the norm. All right? Don't let TV get you killed. That right there is my ministerial moment of the day. That's all I got.